Cool. So my name is Dan Wilcox. I'm an artist, musician, engineer, and performer. I'm just finishing up my Master of Fine Arts at Carnegie Mellon in Pittsburgh. And let's see, what am I? Yeah. And basically, I'm here to talk about how I turned my MDRS experience into an artist book. What the hell is an artist book? Well, it's just a book written by an artist, basically. Although artist books can be crazy, they can be things which aren't even considered books. It's just, or they can be completely conceptual. But in this case, it's literally my field journal from my time at the MDRS, and basically research for my the presentation I'm giving in about 2 hours, which is about a live music show about going to Mars. Next slide. So a little bit of my background. I'm from Huntsville, Alabama. My dad is an aerospace engineer, so I grew up around a lot of NASA people and with my head in space.
I could have sworn it was a minaret.
Well, that's a Saturn 1B, and then later they built this nice big mock-up of a Saturn V because, you know, they got to spend money. They almost bankrupted the place. That's at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center, where Space Camp is, actually. So, next slide, please. So my role as an artist is, I consider myself, well, especially my role as an artist with an engineering background. I went to school for computer engineering, and then I went off to Europe and got into what's called media arts. Wait, go back. Sorry. Yeah, don't pay attention to my hand. I'll just say something.
Put that one back.
I'm going there. Don't worry.
You said media arts, so
Oh yeah, sorry. Basically, so my role as an artist is to do research and development for humanity. It's basically to try out ideas. Art for me is not specifically painting or visual output of things. It is playing with ideas. It's almost like philosophy. It's like posing questions. It's like trying something out and then letting people chew on it, see what they think about it. And that's kind of what I like to do with my work. All right, next slide, please. So some of the stuff that I'm doing, this is called Robot Cowboy. This is my ongoing performance project. The idea is was to build a wearable mobile cyborg performance system. So it has an embedded computer. Can you hit the next slide? It has an embedded computer with custom software and electronics which allow me to become a one-man band compy rock machine. Next slide. I also have a visual component, which is a VJ face here, to basically allow me to play with the computer, but in new ways and find new modes of expression. Next, please. Also, in new areas of expression, this is a building in Austria called the Ars Electronica Center, and the entire outside of it is covered by 1,048 LED, individually addressable LED pixels, essentially. So I use the whole side of the building as a giant screen. So I'm actually performing down here. This is my face with the helmet on, and that's actually being blown up gigantic behind me. I do some other stuff. I'll get through this real quick. Yeah, you can go to the next one. So this is working with the Kinect and depth sensing cameras. The idea here was, when the Kinect came out, was to do basically what is the stupidest thing possible to do with advanced technology. And that is to track. The easiest thing you can do with a depth sensing camera with computer vision is that instead of just being able to see if something's changed, you can actually see how far away the pixels or blob you're tracking is. So in this case, I'm looking for the two closest points in a particular area of this person-sized blob, and then I can draw stuff on top of those two closest points. Other stuff I've done is tracking balloons and sonifying them. So basically, balloons float over this box, which has a Kinect depth sensing camera looking up, and that can basically turn a balloon floating over into a bunch of different sounds. If you go to my website, danomatica.com, there's videos and all sorts of stuff about this. Screw that project. We'll go to the next one. I did a show about looking into human cyborg robot relationships with a PhD student in robotics at Carnegie Mellon. We did a show together. Maybe one other thing is, this is a performance piece done at a National Historic Landmark blast furnace in the Pittsburgh area. And the whole point of this was to channel, with my special blow-up suit, it was to channel the spirit of molten iron and return it to the space, if that makes any sense. But keep going. Again. All right, but hell, this is what I'm here for, talking about this. So this is the cover of the book. Next, please. Right, go back. Yeah. Sorry. I'm used to the... Go back, yeah. Next slide. I was... Yeah, I'm sorry. Don't listen to me. Yeah, that's fine. So the book is called Heading to Mars. It's my field journey. I was in Crew 119 at the Mars Desert Research Station. So it was December 1st to 14th, 2013. And continue? Yeah. Basically, I wanted to write what it was like from a feet on the ground perspective. Continue? And so the book actually starts with training before I even left, learning about, getting some perspective on what it would be like to be on Mars. Next. Also, I did some practice. This is back in Huntsville with the nice red clay soil to stand in as Mars. I wanted to do some ground training before I actually got there. Next. And that's actually another part of the book. So conducted November 2012 in the red clay soil of Huntsville, Alabama, my hometown, home of Werner von Braun. Movement and agility exercises on simulated Martian soil. Next. November 29th, T-minus 2 days. Personal notes. It's weird to prepare for going to Mars the day before going. It's like going on a hike. Will future Martian humans look forward to the next planet like we do to Mars, or read about Earth? Next. This was my crew. Paula, Lisa, Habib, and Commander John Reynolds. Next. So essentially from here, I have excerpts from the book. I have a couple copies if y'all are interested. Okay. So, landing successful. Final systems checks underway for initial EVA. Next. That's me. Next. Personal notes. I'm pushing for a long EVA, aiming one where I need to have a urine collection kit installed, which we do have. Long EVA. Next. Personal notes. Mapping and naming are key. There is power in setting names even though large features have been named remotely. Local ones will be named by those who get there first. Next. So every day I was doing my journalist report, and then I was actually submitting a lot of pictures, and I was also tweeting one significant tweet and picture for each day to sum it up. So Sol 6, roamed far and wide today, but sometimes the best things are in your own backyard, even on Mars. Next. Personal notes. My first shower on Mars. A short Navy shower is all that's required. Humans didn't bathe that much before 1900, but then again they didn't live in airtight tin cans either. Next. Sol 7. Headed out today into the boulder fields east of Mars Base 1. 20 minutes of suit prep, worth it every time. Next. Can you tell me what page that is? 32. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Slide 32.
Oh, sorry. There should be a page number in the notes.
Oh, 58.
Thanks. So, something with perspective on being there. Wearing this suit like a second skin was really interesting to me. Now that we've been here, this is part of my journalist report from Sol 8. Now that we've been here 8 sols and gone outside on EVAs for 5, the old habits are setting in and my suit is again an extension of me. Just a big dress suit in the business of exploring another planet. We were out today collecting soil samples of what appears to be a dried clay powder similar to bentonite on Earth, and I placed my pen next to a sample point so that it would be easy to tell in the photo how large the area was and what relative size the soil features are. When I picked it up to make notes on the location, heading an MPS, that is Mars Positioning System location, I noticed both my pen and notebook were covered in light red fines, or that is very small particulate soil. Naturally, I blew off the dirt and continued to work. And naturally, I suddenly felt pretty stupid when the inside of my helmet fogged for a second or two. Next. So this was also a different component. This is also actually an addendum to the book, is I collected colored pigment samples of the soil all around the MDRS to actually build a set of colors for Mars. Next. Some other notes would be that There will be no fashion for the new Martians, only utilitarian waffle thermals. I imagine that for at least the first generation or so. Why would you take fancy clothes when all you're going to need are your spacesuit and your thermal underwear? Next. Would cannibalism be possible in a space crew on Mars? If we're pioneers, maybe we have to be ready when resources are low. We're not here for fame or glory, but out of curiosity. We want to know, we want to explore. We are pioneers and we're doing it for all of humanity. Next. The power went out early in the morning and we jumped into action. It's a cold night on Mars, but a warm day for exploration. Next. Tracing the footprints of other EVAs. Maybe astronaut boots should have recognizable symbols of numbers to make it easy to tell who was there. Taking the suit off is like meditation. No, that's fine. Found petrified trees, fossils in gypsum shale. Life and resources tied together through colored soil. Next. I got a bad slide in there. Sorry.
Oh, it's double.
Yeah. So the last 2 days, the Martian sky bids farewell. Orbital insertion was go and back on terra firma, but missing Ares. Next. And Crew 119 finishes the MDRS handover to Crew 120. Of course, we suddenly realized we weren't actually in air anymore.
I understand those photos without suits are being discouraged, right?
Well, this is the only place that I've shown it. You guys are you guys can give me a little leeway.
For public use, for posting as, Mars Society.
Right. Well, I haven't posted that one.
Yeah.
I just wanted to throw it in. So that's actually both covers. This is from my MDRS sim suit, and this is a prototype for making a sim compression suit, basically like the MIT bio suit. Next. So I did a lot of GPS logging, made some maps. We'll just blast through this part. Here's an example of an EVA with waypoints and the points of interest marked.
What kind of scale would that be?
Go back.
Yeah.
This is, I don't have I forget. Each one of these things is, actually, this is feet markers, I think. That's 100 feet, I believe, depending on your zoom. Does anybody remember it's been a while.
Road quite a ways.
Is this is NAD 27, so is this in feet or meters? I forget. Is it meters?
I'm pretty sure it's in meters.
Okay, so this would be, these are 100 meter squares.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. So back to the soil. So I took some pretty detailed notes. I have a whole addendum on where the soil samples I took were, at what time of day, and etc. Continue. So I compared them. You can't really see with the projection, but the colors are actually pretty distinct on my screen. And then I built a a color table. That's the colors of Mars, aka the MDRS. Continue. Those are some of the locations of the samples on Google Earth. So I compiled this all together. And we're almost done here. So I compiled this all together into an exhibition at Carnegie Mellon as part of my a show there at the Miller Gallery. To continue. So I framed some of the photos, put them up with some captions to get some idea what it was like to be there. So for instance, this one says, no, go for it. Astronauts must prepare for momentous symbolic action. Continue. I forgot my towel. Douglas Adams would be disappointed. Continue. Long EVAs require a urine collection kit. Continue. Suit as second skin. Trying to blow dirt off pen results in fogged helmet. Next. Early this morning, the power went off. A stark reminder of how quickly we could disappear. Next. I also mounted and showed the little files of colored soil. Next. Next. And then all of this research was actually built for making a live spoken word and one astronaut rock opera show called Onward to Mars. So at this actual book exhibition and the pictures, I had a countdown clock running until the show Onward to Mars would take place. Next. I showed the book, of course. Next. Next. And actually where I got the book printed, they wanted to use it in their promo for examples of books that you can make. So taking all of this experience, I started to put together my tools for going onward to Mars. These are actually some samples taken from the MDRS. Compiled that together into the basis of what would be Onward to Mars. Next. So, our last day. As pioneers, every step we have taken at Mars Base 1 has paved the way for countless crews. Look up into the sky. We're looking back. Join us. Next. And I believe it's at 3:30 or yeah, it's the last one. I think 3:30 or 4. I'll give a presentation on the Onward to Mars live show, including the MDRS inspired suit we built. So, any questions?
Did you say that are you doing a show in connection with this convention?
No.
Not really? Not here?
No. I don't have the stuff with me. Anyone else?
What was it like wearing the spacesuit and walking around through that terrain?
I didn't find it that difficult, maybe because I was used to wearing the other giant thing, which is a lot heavier. The first day, you get used to it. The air blows in. That's also something I borrowed with this other suit. The air blows in. It sort of helps to block out outside sound and really keeps you mindful of thinking of your resources. You sort of hear the air and then you're thinking, oh, that's my air. That's actually what I have to survive on. Really brought me into the moment. It was really easy for me to suspend my disbelief and really feel like we are stepping out on Mars, especially because since we were the first crew of that season, there wasn't a ton of like foot tracks around or ATV tracks yet or anything. So it was like you walk over a hill, it's completely like quote unquote untouched from our perspective.
One more question,
Sure, one more question?
if any.
If any. I got some books up front if you want to check it out. So otherwise you can check me out at danimatica.com. This is up here, a full PDF. I'll make a EPUB as well, but you can download it if you want to check it out digitally. And my Twitter handle is @danimatica.
Cool, thank you.
So cool, thank you. Thank you, sir.